portion of our segment, we're now going to discuss, the facts about PTSD, what it is. So I'm going to start, Augustine, and you can react to what I'm saying, expound on what we're sharing tonight. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, of course.
So, what is military-related PTSD? Okay, it is defined as a post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, this was actually, Augustine mentioned this to me during our deep, alignment meeting yesterday. PTSD for the military was actually a major problem during World War I, and it was known at that time as shell shock. So, Augustine, tell us a little bit about the history for PTSD.
Well, as you said, and as we talked yesterday, that term came along in World War I, shell shock, and that was termed from the explosions that, because World War I was mostly a trench battle where they're in the trenches. So there was a lot of, at that time, a lot of artillery being fired back and forth. Mm-hmm. And so the explosions was one of the terms that they used for the veterans that were suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, was the shell shock label that they gave it. And then later in time, going into the World War II and then Korean War, the term that they used mostly then was combat fatigue. Mm. And then it wasn't until the Vietnam era that they termed it the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm. Yeah, but as far when I was researching this, like in this modern time, mm-hmm. I do believe there was a lot of cases, that for seeking military or veterans benefits, right around 2008, all the way through 2012. So let's define what PTSD is, okay, just in general. And what it says here from our sources is PTSD is indeed a mental health condition. Okay, it needs to be treated as a disease that occurs when someone witnesses or experiences a severely traumatic event. And what's key about PTSD is that the particular veteran is stuck in the trauma. That's why they are resorting to a lot of the self-medicating tactics or mechanisms. And that's why Augustine was talking about addiction, okay? Because a lot of times people don't understand, spouses don't understand, especially young children don't understand what PTSD is. I didn't know what PTSD was. And back then, it was being called the paranoia schizophrenia. All right. And once that that diagnosis is given, there's no what's next. There's nobody to talk to, nobody to like just teach you, educate you on how you can cope, because I am not an advocate for separation from veterans with PTSD. I do not advocate for divorce, all right, from this military PTSD, but sometimes the veteran seeks this, okay? And in a marriage, it takes two, all right, in order for you to proceed. But unfortunately, this is an occurrence for veterans, because sometimes the enemy is not the enemy in war. The enemy, they see it to be their own spouse and children, right? And they are not able to move forward just from personal experience, because they are stuck in that. It's like a movie, a segment, a clip that plays over and over in someone's head. And that's hard to like voice out, especially amongst men. And Augustine mentioned something about, men's pride and, natural ego, you tend to be like, the strong one. And that's a point of weakness that a lot of veteran spouses will not admit to. All right. So being stuck in the trauma, I do believe, is one very, very simple description of what military-related PTSD is. So what can you say about that, Augustine?
Well, a lot of the symptoms, there's many symptoms of it that surface, but I would say 4 of the most common ones are nightmares, anger issues and irritability, because I see it because like, as I said before, I interact with these veterans on a daily basis. And I have been for, like I said, 10 years now. And the ones that really have the PTSD, that suffer from PTSD because they've had that traumatic experience and with the recent conflicts, like as far as Afghanistan and Iraq, them veterans, like I says, nightmares, anger issues, very irritable, isolation. A lot of them, they would tell me, because my name's Augustine, but a lot of them call me Augie. That's my name for short, Augie. And they go, Augie, I want a room by myself. I can't have nobody in my room. I want to be. And I says, no, well, you got to have a roommate. And some of the special cases, certain cases, I do put them in a room by themselves, their own room. But I let them know, hey, I'm put you in here temporary, you know, until I need the space, and then I'm going to put another veteran in here. And they go, okay. But a lot of the veterans, our rooms here, we have there's our occupancy is 42. Right now we're at 28, but a lot of times when I put two veterans together, I have to assess them and match them that they're compatible, because of the fact that I know some of these veterans have these issues and they have nightmares and they have, you know, so I find them that who are compatible and the ones that get along. And so some will come to me and say, hey, I want to switch rooms and be roommates with this veteran. Okay, so we work with them that way. But like I says, we do have conflicts here, because can you imagine having 28, 30 veterans that have issues, mental health issues, PTSD issues, drug and alcohol issues, and you're trying to put them together in a communal living, even though they're used to, you know, the camaraderie is there, but also we have conflicts, arguments, sometimes physical altercations, you know, so it's a serious thing, you know, and so in dealing with the veterans and with those issues and the homelessness, and because a lot of us come in, we're angry because my current situation, angry because I'm homeless, angry because I don't know why I'm doing this way and acting this way, angry because my wife left me, angry because I can't see my kids. And so dealing with all that, you know, we just, like I said, it's just a constant battle to address it, you know.
Yeah. And you brought up anger. That needs to be released too, you know. And so, and let me just, you know, like you've touched on some of the symptoms, you know, the fear, the stress, and the anxiety.
Guilt.
That is bottled up. It's actually gonna aggravate the trauma even more. So let's touch on some of the short-term and long-term psychotherapy. Strategies, coping strategies. And I have my own. I told Augustine yesterday about, as a chaplain, you know, there is actually an antithesis for me for PTSD. So it's post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And you've experienced this, Augustine. My antithesis for PTSD is called PTSG, which is pre-traumatic spiritual growth. If you have grown before the trauma has occurred, if your mind has woken up, you know, you've been touched more than just the physical aspects of life, but the emotional support, the spiritual care, if that trauma happens, which is only a matter of when. There's many different forms of trauma that we experience in our life, okay, whether you are a veteran or not. Right. But if you have pre-traumatic spiritual growth, right, you are encouraged in your faith, no matter what the storm is. just like the giant sequoia trees in Calaveras big trees where I love to hike at, you're going to weather all of these storms. So that is my number one advice, to service members, to veterans, and also their spouses and their children. And my children, just from personal experience, it had to be a choice. It just didn't happen one day that you were feeling compassionate for your partner. It had to be a choice of acceptance. That is the number one step. Okay, and for those families going through PTSD, stay closer together. The pandemic has even isolated further these veterans, and veterans, for some reason, Augustine, I was a management consultant in Washington DC, and while this PTSD event has been happening in my family life, I actually happen to be one of the project managers of the Association of Veterans to Homelessness. And in Washington, D.C., that's where they go, right? They are just rallying against the government or just nonstop, like there's an issue that they want to raise all the time. And without touching the personal side, and for some reason, there will come a point where a veteran who has emotional and mental issues will lead to homelessness. And not that I was anticipating it, with our brother Chris, but I saw it coming because of the mental health issue on top of the PTSD. So the bullet point here that and we're getting near to our closing here, Augustine, is that the number one thing that we need to do is, first of all, communication, talking it out. Do not bottle it up. Because conflict unresolved is just a ticking time bomb within someone's emotions. And before it becomes a mental health issue, there's also what you call emotional health, that whether you are a veteran or you have PTSD or not, we need to be mindful of our emotional health. And my husband would say this, if you get wounded, right, don't you go to the ER and get that stitched? But how about when you are emotionally wounded and mentally wounded? Don't you need to go seek help? Because that's also part of your being. You are not just body. You are body, mind, soul, and spirit. And whatever it is, difficulties that we go through in our life, let us just remember, so did Christ. Christ suffered from that as well. And so that's why there is hope. And we talked about the medications, all right? The medications, if they are available, right, that can also be God's touch point for healing. But it is a personal decision that the veteran has to make in the family. And if the veteran is alienated from the family, there's Dignity's alcove that can bridge the gap between the veteran and their family. And I also wanted to say, to the spouses, seek help as well. Don't just endure, okay, the day-to-day affliction, the distress, the emotional oppression of PTSD. Reach out. If you're still in the military, reach out to the Family Service Center. Call the crisis hotline for Veterans Affairs. That's how we found Dignity's alcove. It's because they were referred to us by the Veterans Affairs. Go Google. Use social media for a good cause. Knowledge is power. And do not let go, and activate your spiritual power, right? There is that power within us that can change a negative situation into something that we will testify as we are doing now. And to the children of the, veteran with PTSD, as well as veterans with mental issues, do not despise your parent. Continue to love them. Because they are sick. They're not doing it because they want to separate from you. It's just they couldn't help it, and they do not have the emotional strength and the mental capacity to re-engage with you and become a solid standard family. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen to everyone. But I'm hoping, as the head of the Heart of Ruth Supportive Ministries, that we will take a look at PTSD emotional affliction, mental issues are not a cause for shame. Seek help, medical help. That's why we have doctors. Okay, but also rely upon spiritual wisdom coming from God. And just like David, Joshua, Gideon, they were warriors, in the Bible. They've also gone through affliction. And I just leave you with this, with Joshua, Joshua, as he led the army of the Lord, right, against the Canaanites. He said, while he was empowering his troops, he said, Joshua 24, verse 15, and I quote, "As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." So hold on. Continue encouraging your faith. Keep on asking for God's healing. Beg for God's healing. And one day, just like our brother Augustine, my hope is we will see this affliction, this pain, turn around to becoming a purpose, the difficulties becoming the fulfillment of dreams. So, Augustine, brother, can you please give the final word as we close?
Well, I just want to thank you again. Thank all the viewers. And as you said, Christina, never give up hope. That was one of the key words you said in the beginning. There's always hope. And I've heard that before. And it was one of the ones that I stuck with, that stuck with me as well. It was, hey, never give up hope. Like you said, it's many of the veterans that I work with, I always encourage them to never give up hope. And also what you said was regarding the support group. I'm a big one on that. Support groups and sharing and continue going to them, because that's where you get to know each other. And one thing about the pandemic that stopped, like with our local veteran clinic, they had support groups there regarding PTSD and other groups as well. But with the COVID pandemic going on, they had to stop them because of the group setting, people distancing, but they're getting ready to start them back up. So that is a good thing. So we encourage our veterans to attend those groups because they have them weekly. And that's the answer there, is to start letting people know. And for those veterans that think they might have PTSD and not sure, seek help right away now. Don't wait, because if you don't seek help now, the symptoms will just get worse.
Yes, and there might be untapped resources like veterans benefits that you are eligible for.
Yes.
So please reach out to Augustine, Dignity's Alcove, even contacting the hotline for Veterans Affairs.
Yeah. Each county has a veterans service office.
And locally too, here in Modesto, there's a center, right?
Yeah, the
there's a county veteran center.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, okay. And as we close now, I just have this call to action that I want to share with our viewers. Number one, please save this video and share it. And Augustine, I encourage you to share this from the Heart of Ruth Supportive Ministry. Share it on the Dignity's Alcove Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube. I will share you the link. And then, like Augustine said, join our support groups. The Heart of Ruth has a lot of support groups on Facebook. And hopefully, Augustine, we can have a partnership. Why not, right? For the Heart of Ruth Supportive Ministries. And I do believe, Augustine, even though, you are a case manager, I do believe you are also doing chaplaincy work, in providing emotional support and spiritual care. And what you said earlier, the ministry of presence, just being present and being a friend to these veterans can change someone's life significantly. And then another call to action that I would like to ask our viewers is please to support our project Giving Hearts. I would like to announce that we are going to reactivate our HM1 Chris Santos Care and Compassion Fund for homeless veterans. And I'm happy to share from our family that come Thanksgiving, we will be providing free Thanksgiving meals to all of your residents, Augustine, and hopefully to you
Thank
too
you.
as well.
Thank you.
And also, whatever it is, I'm asking our viewers, all the supporters, my friends and family from the Heart of Ruth Supportive Ministries, including the Cuarentados, headed by the beautiful Agnes Bean, who are the batchmates of HM1 Santos, Chris Santos. I would like to encourage you, to let us pull all of our social media, start sharing about this, because any resources, any donations that we are going to be able to raise, we are going to help every effort of the Heart of Ruth related to homeless veterans as well as Dignity's Alcove. So on Thanksgiving Day, Augustine, I shall see you with my children. Okay,
Yes.
delivering these Thanksgiving meals. And also, their dad has actually been a supporter of Project Giving Hearts overall, because I just would like to announce formally that the Heart of Ruth is partnering for the third year with the local cancer centers, Emmanuel Cancer Center here, by providing Thanksgiving meals to the neediest cancer patients in the Modesto and Turlock areas. And we are also extending this to Merced, California. And then I would like to thank, our partner, New Life Christian Center, for providing these Thanksgiving meal boxes. And Augustine, I have to tell you about that, because they're giving away 300 Thanksgiving meal boxes this year. And, I have contacted them and they said they can provide it to these cancer patients. So that frees up a lot of resources in order for us to continue this for Christmas and also beyond 2021 into 2022. And I also wanted to share that if ever one of your residents need prayer and healing, or, God forbid, there will be death in the family. But if this happens, we provide memorial services assistance just virtually through Zoom, because, especially now that we have a lot of, people coming from different origin countries, they can't travel here. We're still in the pandemic stage, but the Heart of Ruth can help set up a virtual memorial service, just as what we had done with my late ex-husband, Chris. Okay. So, and then I just wanted to say that, we have a lot of these emotional support groups. They are really like life groups. So I hope that in the description of this video, I will provide the Facebook page for Augustine Espino's employer, Dignity's Alcove, and you can just connect with them through that link. Okay, so now let us end with this quote of the day. At the end of the day, what really, really wins is love. Love wins, right? And our quote says from 1 Corinthians 1 verse 7, love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So let's activate our love for people. Let us activate our faith in action by right now. I just want you, if there's a person whom you think is suffering from PTSD, send them a text right now. Send them a direct message on Facebook if they are your friend. Send them, give them a phone call tomorrow or tonight. Okay, say a prayer for them, because that simple effort of reaching out can make the biggest difference in someone's life. So thank you so much, Augustine. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I wish Dignity's Alcove, the best success as you continue to serve the Central Valley area. And I do believe we have a lot of veterans here. How many veterans do we have in this area? Augustine, do you know?
And you're talking about San Joaquin County area, or?
Yeah, this area that we have.
I will tell you. I think the last census I've heard, as far as that they've counted, was what, 30,000 or so.
Oh wow, that's
quite a bit.
Yeah, those are veterans, not homeless veterans, right?
Yeah, those veterans, just veterans. Yeah.
Right.
I believe homeless veterans, the count was as far as that on the census that they counted, as far as in San Joaquin County area was what I think 1900, I believe, that they counted. And that's not counting everybody. That's just the ones that said, hey, that they were homeless and said that they were veterans.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So
continue
that's
doing
still
the
a
work
big,
that you do.
that's still a big number. You
Yeah,
know.
that's a big number. So continue the work that you do. Thank you so much,
Thank
Augustine.
you.
On behalf of the Heart of Root Supportive Ministries, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for serving the Lord today, just by sharing your testimony. And thank you, Lord, for healing me, for healing our family emotionally from the stigma and the effects of PTSD. Thank you so much for honoring our departed military veterans. Thank you so much. And with the Heart of Ruth, we are here for you. We are here for you. We are just one direct message away. And if this video has touched one life, we have fulfilled our mission of touching a life, one heart at a time. So it is Chaplain Christina Santos. I just wanted to provide a blessing to all of you. All right, Lord, I pray, oh God, that you will just strengthen the people who are watching this video right now. Like you had said in Joshua 1 verse 9, we just, Lord God, speak God's word and believe with all our heart that you will be strong. You will be courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord, your God, our God, is with you wherever you go. Amen. Receive that blessing. So thank you so much. And next month, we're going to be tackling another heart-to-heart talk topic that is relevant in today's time. This is Chaplain Christina. Thank you so much, and may God bless the USA, and may God bless you all. Thank you to the Quarantados for that beautiful song number. And I just want to give a shout out to my children, Ethan and Isabella. I love you. God bless. Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay.